love how I always start it when I'm doing something off camera. Like if you were watching it, you could see me playing with my sideburns. Oh, God. Too funny, man. I can't help it, though. Like, it's so far behind, and then I'm ready to get started, so I press start, and then I remember, oh, crap, I was just doing some weird shit on camera. But that's okay. No big deal. So, guys, if you are hopping in and you're watching the replay, just so you guys know, if you're brand new, this is a Q&A session, but don't let that deter you from watching the Q&A session part of it, even though you don't get to ask any questions. Number one, you can always leave a question in the comments, and we can get back to you there. But number two is a lot of the time, and people don't realize this, a lot of the time in these Q&A sessions, there's a lot of good information and beginner, intermediate, and even advanced level questions that are being asked in this Q&A session. So even if you guys are watching the replay and you're like, oh, well, it's just a Q&A and I can't ask any questions, I encourage you to try watching it and just see if any of the questions that are being asked are questions that you might have or questions that you didn't even know you had, but it surprised you to find out that you found it out in the Q&A session. But either way, if you guys are watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward a little bit. We like to spend the first, or I like to spend the first 5 to 10 minutes really just saying hello to everybody, letting everybody join in because it takes a minute for people to get the notification. So we like to take a second to give people time to hop in before we start. But if you guys are in here, or if you're just now joining me, just do me a favor, say hello in the chat really quick. That would be great, so that way I can learn a little bit more about you. If you have an agency, you can put the name of your agency in the chat box. That's fine too. But again, I just like to spend the first 5 to 10 minutes getting to know people that are on my live. So if you feel like saying hello, go ahead and do that. But we're going to get started here in just a minute. We've got about 2 more minutes till we go ahead and get started with the questions portion. So how has everybody's week been? Anybody land any deals so far this week? Or did anybody land any deals from the last time that we had our live, which was last Thursday? If so, go ahead and put your wins in. We want to help celebrate with you. But, so let me see here. What do we want to cover as far as it being a... I guess we could talk. Everybody wants to talk about sales stuff. I could always talk about that. Honestly, I get tired. Not tired. Tired's the wrong word, but it is kind of exhausting because I would say 90% of the people who try to start an agency, their only concern is the sales aspect and getting clients. And that's a big, big mistake that a lot of people make, that a lot of people don't realize is one of the most detrimental things that you can do for your agency. And the reason why is because, again, we talk about operations and setup and making sure that you have your team built, making sure that you have an onboarding process, all of the stuff that you really have to get in place to make your agency really truly ready to handle all the clients that you intend to take on. And that's another reason why people end up failing. They go out, they get a client, and then they come back and realize they don't know what they're doing. They don't have any plan in place. And so they're kind of winging it. So then they end up losing a client, getting a bad review, and then they don't have an agency anymore. Or they quit because they thought it was too hard. And the reality is, if you take the time to set up operations, or if you take the time to build your team, or really fine-tune your sales process before you begin, because that's another area where people don't take advantage of the time before they start up their agency. They're not considering the fact that they need to build an actual sales process. They just kind of go at it and start to try to bring on clients, when in reality, what you should try to do is either buy or build some type of CRM setup for yourself. So you can either get on a platform like we use, which is like Go High Level, and you can use a CRM so that way you can manage all of the contacts or prospects that you're bringing in. And then on top of having the CRM in place, your messaging that you're going to be using, what platforms you're going to work on, any automation that needs to be built in, follow-up sequences, all of these things are super important to building your agency in the beginning. And again, just without them, you don't really have a true method or strategy, rather, to acquire new clients, right? So the biggest thing you want to do is, again, you want to get a CRM in place. So, and I mentioned you can do the paid version. The free version of that is to just use an Excel spreadsheet, and you can create columns. So name, phone number, email address, website, whatever information, notes about the calls, your last point of contact, so that way you know the last time you contacted them each time. But building those things and having that in place is super important because, again, if you start contacting, if you're in any of my programs, we talk about all the time. The objective as far as sales is concerned is that you want to start to contact about 30 to 50 new or cold businesses per day. If you're doing cold outreach, completely cold outreach, either phone calls or emails, you want to try and reach out cold to 30 to 50 new businesses every single day, right? So by the end of the week, you've reached out to 150 to 250 businesses. So if you're trying to keep track of all of that inside your head or on a little notepad, it's going to make it very difficult for you to follow up with the right people at the right time, right? That's why you need a CRM in place. It helps you keep track of where a potential customer is in the buyer journey, right? So we have our CRM set up, and really all it does is it tracks potential leads. It tells you what stage they're in. So I'll show you guys a skeleton. Let's see if I can find it. It's not up. And if you want, guys, I can send you a promo code so that way you can get grandfathered into the price point that we got. Just send me a message or leave it in the chat and I'll send you my link so that way you can make sure you get that grandfathered price. So let's go over here and we'll look at this skeleton. So really what we're looking at here, guys, is you're building out opportunities based on where people are in the buyer journey, right? So go away. So if I drag over, you can see registered for a webinar, attended or watched a webinar replay, scheduled appointment, info call completed, proposal pitch, negotiation, deal won, right? And so those are the different stages that you'll want to take a potential customer through. And without understanding where a potential customer is in the buyer journey, it's hard for you to know, number one, again, when to contact them, what type of message to send, what they've received before, right? Because sometimes you'll get into multiple email threads and now you have to keep track of 3 different conversations. That makes it very difficult for you to be able to communicate properly and effectively with a potential client. So what you need to do from here is, now that we know what our pipelines look like, our sales funnel looks like, now we have to determine, okay, how are we going to drive cold traffic to this sales funnel? After we get cold traffic, how are we going to remarket to them, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, messaging, whatever. And then after that, what you have to do is, okay, now we have the cold traffic outreach in place, so we know how we're going to drive new viewers to our site. Now we know, or to a webinar or whatever you're doing, an ad campaign, whatever, right? Now that we have the cold traffic, we need to remarket to them on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, things like that, right? And now that and email, obviously that was more about email and text message marketing because we do a lot of email and text message. Like if someone goes through a webinar, we're going to follow up with the webinar replay, an offer, maybe some type of, discount, whatever. But the goal is to get that person to set that appointment with us so that way we can do a discovery call. And then once we get the discovery call, now we're at the point where we've had that first call. Now we're going to actually try and line up the appointment meeting, right? So now we're actually in the appointment trying to pitch the proposal, and then you have the hopes of closing, right? So that's kind of how the sales process works. It's very simple. but you have to have that CRM in place. And again, it's because of the fact that it tells you where a potential viewer or a potential customer is at in the buyer journey. Okay. So now again, we have our CRM set up. At least we know what the format's going to look like. Now we need to create some remarketing. Let me see if I can pull that up. I'll show you guys our sequence. Here it is. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. Hang on. Onboarding, prospecting. Is it this one? No, where are my emails? I don't remember where my emails are. Could be CRM. All right, well, I can't find my emails off the top of my head, but that's okay. Basically, the point is, guys, okay, so if someone goes through a webinar, actually, I can show you like serial entrepreneurs because we're still building out Rest and Bar inside of here because we're trying to perfect it. Let me see, where is it? Here. All right, so these are all of our campaigns, right? And you can see they're numbered, so that way we know exactly where they're at in the sales funnel or in the opportunities tab, right? Then we have our first level campaign, our second level campaign for hot leads, third level after they submit an appointment. If they cancel the appointment, you guys will do this exact same thing with your agency. If they cancel the appointment, you do an appointment reschedule campaign. If that doesn't get them to reschedule the appointment, then they go into a remarketing campaign where, again, these are all text messages and emails. And then if they still don't respond, we throw them through a disengage campaign, which then tries to get them back into setting an appointment again, which would basically bring them back up to here to step 3 again, right? So let's just show you, let's see. See if it'll show the messages. There we go. So first, email, then a text message, then an email, then we do a voicemail drop. So you actually get a voicemail from me. Email 4, email 5. And you can do this exact same setup with your agency and potential clients that you're trying to drag through, right? Or drive through. Then once they come in and we've actually qualified them a little bit and they've filled out a form that has qualified them, then we take them through the hot lead campaign to set that appointment, right? So we know that they're qualified. Now we want them to set an appointment with us, okay? So that's all you're doing right here at this level. And then we send them an email. All of the objective, though, is the same for all of these. All we're trying to do is set an appointment. If they set an appointment in this first little message up here, then we stop messaging them. All of these other messages stop, right? But if they don't, then they continue through the flow. Okay? And that's really it. This is what you guys are doing with your agency sales funnel as well. Are you guys writing in the chat? Because it is not showing me chat right now. Let me pull up YouTube. And there's no way there's 20 people on and there's no chat. Sometimes YouTube does this, man. It irritates the shit out of me because I want to see what you guys are saying and I can't. Give me one sec. Yep, you guys are definitely writing in here. And it's not showing up on the control panel, so yay. So the system that we're talking about, guys, is actually for your agency clients. We're talking about building a sales funnel for your agency clients using a CRM. This is called Go High Level. Again, if you guys want access to this, I'll send you my link so that way you guys can get the lifetime pricing that we're using. Because the good thing is with no, it's not fake. It's definitely real. It's definitely not fake. It's real. It's just this is for serial entrepreneur. We actually are still building it out for Rest and Bar. Like CRMs are not, and that's the one thing I will say, guys, because it is time consuming. These are, but the time that you spend doing this makes it so worth it because, again, all of this is automated. I don't have to, after someone goes through a webinar, I don't have to sit here and manually send out messages, check every single day what's going on with that potential client, where they're at, did they set the appointment. All of this is done for me. And then when an appointment is set, it's put on my calendar, right? So, and pricing varies. It's anywhere from, I think, like $50 a month for the base package up to about $1,000 for like their enterprise level. But you probably won't need the grand to start off. I think there's one that's like around $200. I don't remember the pricing exactly off the top of my head. But there's one that's about $200, and that gives you the white labeling feature. So you can see up here, we can put, once we get our clients migrated over from HubSpot, you can put all your clients in here. So you can see we're doing testing right now. We just want to make sure we understand how this particular CRM works 100%, what features it's lacking, because it is lacking a couple of features, but it's nothing that's detrimental or something that's going to prevent you from being able to use it to the best of its ability. I will tell you this, you'll never get as much capability with HubSpot for the amount that we're spending. If you want the same setup that we're using right here, where we can text message, email, voicemail drop, all of that, if you want this same setup over at HubSpot or Salesforce or any of the other big CRMs, you're probably going to spend around $1,500 to $15,000 per month, depending on what you want. And that's because they have different types of CRMs. They have a sales-related CRM, customer service-related CRM, marketing-related CRM, and they all have different functionalities. All right, well, I'm going to remove you, Elite RAM. Later. There we go. I don't have time for people who want to try and talk shit. So Jordan, do you guys use Duda, right? Where do you guys get tutorials? Christian, we didn't get any tutorials. Really, I'm more of a hands-on learner. I'll say that right now. I'm definitely more of a hands-on learner. So like, for example, me and Ted, we just sat here and went through Duda. Like, we literally went through every piece of Duda so that way we could understand it. But that's really it. I don't think Duda really has any tutorial videos out there. We actually have one that we're about to put out on YouTube. We're working on putting it together. But again, since we're learning Duda still, we're not really learning it. We've pretty much got everything down, but there's so many features that Duda has that we just want to make sure we cover all of the important ones. So we are working on a video for that. So if you stick around, you'll see one eventually. What CRMs have I used before? I've used HubSpot and Salesforce. What's the other one? Zoho. Zoho's awful. Don't even try Zoho. Like, to me, like, this is a very basic looking dashboard, right? But as far as user interface and as far as design, I think Go High Level is much more intuitive. HubSpot and Salesforce are way better as far as like user design and user interface is concerned, but it's 10,000 times more expensive. That's the only reason. Like, most people who are starting, you guys don't want to get into HubSpot, Salesforce, Zoho, any of those, because they're way too expensive. That's why this platform works great for startup agencies. Now, I'm not going to, if you have 1,000 clients, I'm not sure that this would be the best option for you, because it might be too like archaic almost, if that's the right word, if you guys get what I'm saying, meaning like it doesn't have all the features that you will need to manage 1,000 clients on it. And I can't speak to that because I don't have 1,000 clients, but I can tell with the clients we do have and what we're trying to get set up and the features that it's lacking, it would make it a little more difficult for us. So if you guys are seriously, if you're looking for a good CRM to use that is affordable, but also has a lot of the features that you need to really get started. And the good thing is, guys, like, you can actually use this to your advantage. Most people don't understand the benefit of a CRM. A CRM is an upsell opportunity that you don't even have to charge for, because you're paying that one flat rate no matter how many customers you put on it. Once you get up to their unlimited level, you pay that same rate if you put 10,000 customers on it. Okay, so you don't have to charge any money, and you can include a CRM setup for your niche absolutely free. And they're going to love that because now they have something that they can use to track their sales that's already put in place for you. Like, that's the best part about it. So I would recommend, guys, is basically try to. I love haters. The most important thing I'm trying to say, guys, is you have to find something affordable that has the features you need. Go High Level will be that system for you, I promise. By the way, guys, since we have quite a few viewers now, we've got about 26 people on the live stream. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button if you are enjoying this stream whatsoever. If I've ever helped you learn anything whatsoever, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Guys, if you're in the chat over here on Zoom, I'm going to bring this back up. If you're over here in the chat on Zoom and you have a question, do me a favor and write it in the chat box that you have a question, and I'll make sure to get it over to you. Somebody said they want the affiliate link. Hold on one sec. I'll get it to you. I'll post it anyways, just in case you guys do want to check it out, because it is a super useful platform. Oh, and by the way, I fixed Zoom from last week. We had a bunch of children on last week, and so I made it to where you guys are automatically muted when you come in, and I'm the one who has to unmute you. So now if you start popping off, you're just instantly removed, which is perfect. All right, here's the link over here if you guys want to check that out. Feel free to do so. Yeah, dude, every week you're going to get one guy who, and I guarantee you that one guy is probably a guy who started out and didn't make it. He probably bought like Ty Lopez's program and sucked, and exactly. Like, he probably tried his very best, and didn't make it. That's what I love. Like, people who have never even taken my program come onto my videos and start to scream scam because they failed themselves. Like, dude, it's hilarious. Anyways, guys, if you're in the chat right now and you have questions, please, if you want to join the live chat or if you want to join the Zoom call, hang on one sec. What? Where's the invite? Dude, why do they keep moving it? I'm going to kill Zoom. I'm tired of Zoom. Like, it used to be under managed participants. All right, it's not under managed. But look, if you're watching the video right now, if you're on the phone, if you're on your phone watching this stream, all you have to do is close down the chat real quick. All right, hit the little X and then go right into the description. It'll be like one of the first or second link that you see in the description. If you're on desktop, all you have to do is scroll down, click the little drop down arrow. It'll be in there too. The funny thing is too, these guys who are coming in and commenting, like, they don't realize it's actually helping. Like, it's helping my engagement with the video, so they're helping other people see my video. Like, I'm okay with you guys coming in and doing it. I'll just remove you after you put a couple comments, and then I don't see you ever again. Like, anyways, okay, so, Jesus, tons of people joining the Zoom call right now. Okay, Kashif has a question. When advertising for my agency to get clients and your target businesses, would you use demographics or interest? Oh, 100%. Demographics for sure, because you're targeting business owners, right? How many 18-year-old business owners do you know that can afford this service? Probably not many, right? So you want to eliminate all the people that it isn't going to make sense for, right? Like, if it doesn't make sense to advertise them. So typically, if I were you, I would stick within the range of like, but you said, are we talking about barbers here, Kashif? Barbers are typically a little bit younger, right? They can start younger. They only need, what, a year and a half of training, and they can go from barber school, maybe a little more, 2 years, something like that. But compared to college, a lot shorter, right? So that being said, your niche, you could actually target a little bit younger. I'd probably say, like, by the time somebody's a barber and they're like 24, 25, they're probably a little bit more established. And at that point, if they're really doing well, then they can. I still think that's going to be a lower portion of the audience that you're trying to target, but you could pick up some people from there. And sometimes it doesn't hurt to test out that demographic. As far as interest groups are concerned, when you first start out, if you don't have traffic to your site that has been going to your pixel, then yeah, that's all you're going to do. You have to use interest groups to start. The key there is, say you're sending them to some kind of form, or you're sending them to, I don't know, a landing page of some kind, right? The key here is to do two things. Number one, people who visit that page, just the viewers, you're going to create a lookalike audience of. All right? The people who sign up, you're also going to create a lookalike audience of. Then what are we going to do? Do you know what we're going to do with that audience? After we create them, I'll unmute you.
Oh, are we target to them?
Replace your interest-based targeting with your lookalike audiences.
Okay.
Why?
So you could target those people, those specific people who come through the...
Because it's more effective than your interest-based targeting.
And you're going to find more people like them.
Right, exactly. If people are clicking on the link and going to the page, or if they're clicking there and if they're viewing it or signing up, either way, right? Both of those people have more value than interest-based targeting, where 90% of the people aren't clicking on the link or submitting the form. Okay, so that's the key there. So that's what I would do. And then you say, do you test every ad at once, like for top, middle, or end of funnel, or do you run them one at a time? YouTube changed, I think. So what I would do is you set them all up at once. And you need to create, I would say, at least 3 to 5 variations of each ad at each level, right? So if you have top, middle, bottom, you're going to be working with probably anywhere from 10 to 15 ads to begin. And you're always optimizing ads. You're always changing out creative. You're always trying out new copy. That's why ad management is actually kind of like even for a single business, can be a full-time job if you're doing it properly, because you're always changing creative. Creative is like, the biggest thing people don't understand is like your creative needs to be changed out probably once every week or two. You need to try and refresh your images and refresh your copy, because you're still marketing to the same audiences, even though they haven't bought yet a lot of the time. Especially if your audience is smaller, for your top of funnel audience, you need to change out the copy and creative. So let me admit this guy. And then guys, if you have questions, you can just put them in the chat. Once I know I can trust you, I'll let you put on your mic. And those of you who I can tell are not total, I'm just going to say it, fuck boys, I'll let you guys, turn on your mic. But until we can get rid of some of these people who clearly have no lives, this is how it has to be for now. But yeah, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Lookalike audiences are the best, says Michelle. She ain't lying. Well, compared to interest targeting, yes. Because outside of that, custom audiences are the best ones, for sure. Let me see. Did I miss any questions from when the new guys were coming in? I need help assigning clients without a contract. Is that possible? If yes, how can I close without a contract? Well, I mean, it's actually really simple. You just don't put a contract, like you don't tell them there's a contract. You're basically on a month-to-month basis, so you don't really have to do anything. What I would do is have them still sign a contract, but for 1 month. Right, so they're only obligated for that 1 month. It's or more of a month-to-month contract, right? So the issue is every single month they're going to have to re-sign that contract, as far as you making sure that you're legally protected, right? So if they sign that contract, they got to pay you. That's basically what that does. So if you're working without a contract, it's possible. I do recommend, as your business grows, you need to start to get into the contract method. And that's just for the sake of your own agency. The reason why is because what happens is, in marketing, it takes longer than most businesses expect to see a return. They're expecting a return in the first 2 weeks, when we all know the first 2 weeks is about setup and strategy. We can't, it's difficult to put together a fully fledged campaign that's also customized to the business, but is also going to be effective in getting results. So you have to, really set it up properly. So that's where the contract for a longer period of time, like 3 months, 6 months. And that's the other thing I would say try. Don't necessarily just go with a year contract. You can try a 3 month, a 6 month, whatever you have to do to get them signed. But the contract ensures that you're able to at least carry out your campaign as far as you need to start providing results, right? That's really the benefit of a contract. I'm enjoying your SMMA group. I just joined the group today. Thanks for approving my request. Real name is, I'm guessing you're Tina, Michelle? Cool. Glad to have you. Let me see here. Runaway Train, I love you too. I love it when people are so nice. So when I signed up for your program, I didn't realize how many guests you had. Those videos alone were worth it. Are you talking about the $7 program? The beginning? Like, that's what a lot of people don't even know. We have a beginner program that's only $7 that goes into pretty much every aspect. Really great program for people who are trying to get into. Wow. I'm going to report that person first. And then, see, that's why I did this. I can't even have a kid-friendly broadcast anymore. That's why I don't even do kid-friendly, because they wouldn't run my ads if I said kid-friendly, because we got assholes in here posting porn pics. That's why I didn't even, this is what I'm saying, I'm not giving people the power to have their mic yet. And again, if anybody has questions, please just put them in the chat and I'll make sure to get to you. How can I grow my business via Instagram? Your marketing agency, is that what you're talking about? Sometimes people come in here with e-commerce businesses, so I want to make sure I'm on the right track. Are you talking about an e-commerce business, or are we talking about a marketing agency? How do I set up my page to get my first client, free trial, or do an evaluation of their marketing strategy? Thanks from Dublin, Ireland. Free trial. Okay, so you're asking do a free trial or do an evaluation of their marketing strategy. I don't prefer free trials, the evaluation of their marketing strategy, if you frame it the right way. So what I do is I tell people, hey, if you're up for it, I'll come by and I'll put together a free marketing strategy for you for next quarter, right? So we're looking ahead, we're looking into the future. So we're not focusing necessarily right now on the immediate future. We're focusing on the near future, but at the same time, it's giving me the opportunity to present my value to them. And you're framing it as a strategy session where by the time we're done, you're going to have what you need to know to put it in place for your business so that way you can start getting more sales and leads. Even though we know as the marketer that they probably won't be able to do it themselves, right? Let me see, what else do we have? Do you edit an existing used contract or do you rewrite per client? Okay, so I would definitely have someone from a legal perspective at least guide you a little bit. The good thing is, with these contracts, especially in my program, if you're in DMS 2.0, we have a contract in there for you to basically mimic. The biggest thing that you're trying to do with the contract, because you will change per client, because each proposal you give them is going to be different. One will be for $2,500, one's for $5,000 a month, right? And one will be for 3 months, one's for 6 months. So what the purpose of the contract does is it says, if you don't pay, if you want to cancel, we're going to collect 50% of the marketing that you would have spent with us. And you're legally obligated to pay that because you signed this contract. So that's really what you're changing. You're changing the amount spent, the time frame, the services provided, and that's pretty much it, right? But everything else pretty much stays the same. It's, we are this agency, these are the service offerings, here's how this works with us, here's your pay date, here's how much you pay. That's really all it is. So you're changing up just the stuff that changes for each customer. But you can use the same one. That was shocking. Yeah, I know. Question, bit too much to type. Tanner, I already know I can trust you. Tanner, go ahead with your question.
No. Trying to figure out how to word it. So you obviously have experience, working with freelancers as well as building a team as you've been obviously growing and scaling your agency. So I guess my question is, can you give us some pros and cons from, working with freelancers and maybe, I don't know if you have, but moving away from that to build like an in-person team.
Okay.
Some of the pros and cons of that. You see what I'm saying?
So let's start with pros and cons of working with are you also wanting to understand, as far as like hiring VAs, you want to know what that process looks like? Is that what you're wondering, or do you just want to know pros and cons of hiring a VA?
Yeah, I guess that second part, you know?
Okay, so pros and cons of a VA is it requires a lot more training up front. And it's not like training on how to do their job unless you find someone who's just completely incapable and they just said they could do it, right? But you're training them on how to do their job within your agency. So you're not saying this is how you do SEO. You're saying when we get a new blog article, you need to do these steps, right? And then that's what you have to do as the business owner, is make sure that's what SOPs are, right? So that way you know every single time you get a new client or a new project or campaign, that's what that person needs to do. So the biggest issue, and seriously, it was even my issue in the beginning, because I had a misunderstanding of what working with VAs was going to be like. I hadn't worked with VAs before. And so what I was doing was I would reach out to them, I'd hire them, they were qualified, they knew what they were doing, but as far as my instruction, I wasn't giving them enough to do exactly what I wanted. So what would happen was I would get upset. How did you not get this done right? And then I'd fire the VA, when in reality, they did a decent job. I didn't give them right instructions to do the proper job, okay? So the biggest thing is, with VAs, the pro is they're cheaper. The con is there is a lot more upfront training that goes into it, and you have usually a higher turnover with VAs than you will with employees. But don't get me wrong, I've got VAs that I've been working with for 3 years now. I've got like 3 or 4 of them that have been with me since I seriously like began all of this. So you can find some really great ones, and you can get them at a really great price. But again, the con is the training and making sure you have SOPs in place to do that. Now, once you go from, all right, now we're making all this money, we need to move from hiring people overseas to, hiring a couple people in the States, or at least in my local area. That's where you have to, number one, the biggest thing is you have to make sure you can afford it. All right? Let me tell you this. I didn't fucking realize how expensive payroll taxes are. Damn, dude. Like I'm spending probably a few grand a month just in payroll taxes on a few employees. Yeah, so it's expensive. And that's just saying, hey, I already paid you. Now I got to pay the government because I paid you. And then you still have to pay taxes too. So it's kind of ridiculous, but there's taxes on top of taxes. So it is expensive. So make sure you're financially prepared. Talk to your accountant and say, look, I'm trying to hire this person for $4 grand a month. That's what I'm going to pay them. What are my tax implications when I hire this person? That's what you're going to want to understand right there. The other side of it is, usually, I guess that's one of the cons. One of the pros to hiring people internally is it is so much faster than working with a VA. If I need to yell at one of my people who are an employee, I just walk out of the room, or I call them on the phone and say, yo, what the hell's going on? Versus a VA, I got to make sure they're even awake. They could be in India and asleep right now, right? So that's a big, big difference. So getting things done faster is a lot easier with employees because you have them already at, just at the helm, ready to go, right? So those are some of the biggest things I've noticed. The training is pretty much the same as a VA. In the beginning, you're going to have to train that's why it's just worth it to get your SOPs in place. Because once you have those done, every new person you bring in, you just put them through the same process. And it makes it that much easier. You spend less time, you spend less money trying to train people. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Sure. What type of Facebook ad? Oh, wait, let me go ahead and mute that back. All right. What type of Facebook ad campaigns will benefit most of targeting this new audience type? Value-based lookalike audience? What? What type of Facebook ad campaigns will benefit? So what do you mean? Like carousel campaigns, video ad campaigns, link click campaigns, lead gen campaigns? Is that what you're talking about? Richard, could you be a little bit more specific for me, please? Are SOPs covered in the $7 program? I'm on day 2 and loving content so far. I believe we do. I can't remember what day. I'm pretty sure it's later because we start off with the basics of marketing, then we go into digital marketing, and then we go into sales and operations and building a team. It's not anywhere near as advanced as what you'll see in either our DMS 2.0 or our Done With You program, but I'm pretty sure there is at least some beginner level content in there for you to get started with. To be more specific, how to set up SOPs. So so I would say if you want to learn how to set up SOPs, that next step for you is going to be looking at DMS 2.0. I'm like hesitant to admit people into the group now. Cause that shit is it's so pathetic. It really is. People are so sad. Kashif, you got a question? All right. Okay. Cool. Oh, he's throwing up the peace signs. Forever liked it. I got you. All right. Let me look at some of these questions over here in the live chat. That's why we can't have nice things. Do you suggest offering other services if you know how to do them, i.e. web design, email marketing, SEO, etc.? Of course. Yeah, dude. Like, we offer everything. Like, if it's digital marketing related, we pretty much offer it. The only thing I don't offer now that I used to, and this wasn't even in my agency, this was when I worked for the agency in Jacksonville, was pre-roll. And pre-roll is just like display ads across different networks outside of Facebook's display network. It's usually Google's display network, but you can actually search, go look up display networks, and you'll see there's tons of providers who basically they are connected to a bunch of different websites in different industries, and you submit an ad to them and they'll place it on those websites. You guys have seen the banners on like a web page or reading a blog, and you scroll down and you see the ad. Why I just blanked on what I was just saying, the word. Doesn't matter. Those types of companies, that's what they do. They take your ads and they'll place it across their display network. That's the word I was looking for. Their display network. That's how that works. So that's pretty much the only thing we really don't do. Yeah, I'm sorry about all the trolls, guys, but hey, when you're doing something right, you're going to have a lot of upset people. Just a random question. The documents in 2.0 is printed on legal paper, right? What do you mean? The contract? Oh, shit. I hit you mute. Okay. What's up?
So when some of the documents, it's a lot of writing. Like, I have a book here for it, but it's a lot of writing, so I just print it off, like, the document.
Sure.
My paper size is set at like A4, and it comes out.
Oh, that's a printer setting. Yeah, because ours are, what? It came out sideways?
No, well, it was coming out different first, and then I just tried this, and this is better. So
okay, so the reason why is because it's in a PDF format. Okay. So you're going to have to check your printer, though, because I think that's a printer setting.
Okay.
But yeah. If you don't reach out to me, and me and Ted will help, because Ted's a network guy, like not even networking, really just more of a technical kind of guy when it comes to printers and setups. Like, he connected our whole printer to he had to create a unique IP address for the printers because we couldn't find it in our office, so we had to connect to it using a custom IP. He knows how to do all that. I don't know how to do all that. So, I would say play around with your printer settings first if you can't. Yeah, Michelle's saying check your page size settings. I would look at all of your printer related settings first before you print it. That's what you're going to need to do.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see here. Do you suggest... Yep, did that one. Do you price your retainers depending on the company, or do you have a fixed price for all companies? So we kind of work like this. I have one package that is a fixed price. And this is because it sells to like 90% of local businesses. It'll work. As long as they're B2C, not B2B, this one package will pretty much work for everybody. Because if you guys have heard of my methodology called 3-step marketing, it's the same thing for every freaking business. PPC, SEO, top of funnel, sometimes Facebook and Instagram. It just depends on the business. Remarketing with Facebook and Instagram, killer website. Same thing every single time. So that's essentially what we sell, with a couple other caveat services that we include. So outside of that, though, we do custom-made deals. If somebody can't afford that specific package, then we basically take that package that I'm talking about and we take some services out, Or if they can afford more, then we take that package and we add more services in, add more to add budget, stuff like that. That's really what we're looking at. So I kind of work with one flat rate. It just makes it easy. It's standardized. I don't have to think about it too much when I get a new client. And then if they do have a lower or higher budget, I can adjust it from there. How would you best structure a cold email outreach? Here's the thing, guys. Here's what I've really learned about cold emailing is you really have to just reach the right person at the right time with cold email. All right, you're literally finding someone who they've already been looking or they've thought about looking for marketing, and so you hit them at the right time. That's why I kind of like using platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook, using groups on Facebook and a tool with LinkedIn called Lead Connect, where we start conversations first organically. We're not trying to sell. We're not even talking about digital marketing. We try to talk to them about how their business is doing, how their goals are, have they been struggling during Corona, just to keep a conversation organic but professional. Then once we try to, we start to talk to them about their goals or things that aren't going well, that's when we use that part of the conversation to our advantage to say, well, if you're interested, I could send you over a video, which is our VSL, or I could set a quick 15 to 30 minute call with you just to sit there and discuss some of the things that are going on in this industry right now. And really what we could do is put together a quick plan for you and your business, right? And so I'm always try to focus the intention or the premise of your first call with them on giving them a plan that they can walk away with, right? Because then I'm giving them something of value. I'm not just saying, hey, meet with me so we can talk about your stuff. We're meeting together, and then the plan is for me to give them something that they now have. It's tangible from my agency that provides them with true value. Not just, hey, do SEO. Hey, do PPC. We're going to give them some pointers specifically about their business that they need to do for SEO, right? That's what makes true value, or that's what true value is in a pre-qualifying type of sense, right? Before we even know that they're willing to do the discovery call with us, we have to do some type of value offer or some type of, just something to get in the door. So cold email is not really my favorite. So to say there's a campaign, there isn't really a campaign. Really what you're doing is you're sending out one message that has a 6 subject line, because that's what you're doing. You're trying to get them to open the email. If they don't open, then they never read your content. You need to practice your subject lines, get a bunch of different subject lines, test them all out, see which one gets the best open rate. After you do that, then start worrying about the content within the email itself and start adjusting copy there. Have you ever had success selling pre-priced SMMA or... Nope, that's literally what I was just talking about. That one package is already pre-priced. Thank you for all your content. Do you think it's possible to scale from 0 to 10K a month in 30 days like all these other guys on YouTube say? Jason, it is possible. It is highly unlikely. Most people aren't going to scale to 10K in the first 30 days, especially if you're brand new to this. Like Tanner, how long have you been doing this, dude? Years, right? Like a couple years, I believe, right? And Tanner is doing well, but he's still growing. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. It means he took the right path. He's building a slow, steady, growing business versus people who are like, I'm going to go out here and try to get rich in 30 days. Because that's not how this shit works, guys. Stop letting Ty Lopez and whoever, Iman Gadzhi or Jordan, what's that other fucking guy's name? Jordan, whatever. Stop letting all these guys put this fucking facade in front of your face and understand that it takes work and it takes time. You aren't going to get this in the first 30 days most of the time. There are some of you who will. Dude, like there are some people who just, they have it. And not even that they have it. I feel like most of the time, those people, they got lucky. They found the right business at the right time and they bought something. That was it. They probably didn't even have to work that hard to do it. So that's the thing, guys. Like, don't come into this with that expectation, because if you do, you're going to hurt yourself and you're going to really let yourself down. You need to understand this is a long play. And long, guys, long is like a year to 3 years. So if that's too long for you to have to work, then you should hop off now, because like that's not true entrepreneurship. True entrepreneurship is not getting rich in the first 30 days you start your business. And you're not cut out for it if you think that that is what's going to happen. So that would be my opinion there. Where can I find the best freelancers? I would say Upwork, FreeUp, Fiverr, That's pretty much it. That's really all I use. Upwork, FreeUp, and Fiverr. And I would say 80% of that is done on Upwork and FreeUp. Like, those are my two favorite platforms. If you guys want, I can get you a free $50 credit if I can remember the code. Freeup.com/ I think serial entrepreneur. Check that link out right there. I believe it should be my landing page where you get a free $50 credit on your first VA. Yep, it's still up. So if you go through that link, you'll get a $50 credit for your first VA, whatever that VA may be doing. I don't have anything with Upwork because they're dumb and I hate Upwork. I hate Upwork, just so you guys know. Like, I love them, but I freaking hate Upwork because this shit used to be free. Now you got to pay to see your weekly reports and shit. I was like, yo, I got to pay to see how much I'm paying you guys already? Like, what? This shit, dude. They're starting to piss me off. Then they want me to pay like $500 a month so that way I can have a dedicated person to do the sourcing for me. I'm just like, you guys are trying too hard, man. But I bet they lost a bunch of customers because I started looking at other freelancing platforms when that started happening. Found my fiance before dating apps were a thing. Best of luck in that arena, though. What? Oh my god. Alright. Is Gary one of those guys who's gonna... I'm pretty sure... Okay. Gary, I just want to make sure you weren't one of those... Just want to make sure. I was about to say, if this guy is one of them other people. Let me see here. Email has been good for retargeting for you. Yep, exactly. Email is a remarketing platform. Like, that's why I don't look at it as a... It's not an initial outreach type of platform, at least for us. We use other platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn to do that. Looking forward to rewatching this. For just getting started, would you work with a white label? Nope. I don't care if you're just getting started or if you're established. White label is not the way to go, in my opinion. It's just a lot more work later on down the road. After 3 months, I'm breaking even, says Christian. Look at that. 3 months breaking even. It's possible, and 3 months breaking even isn't even hard. And again, this is not to knock you, Christian, because that is great. I'm happy for you, but it's really not that difficult to do, guys. It's really not. You have to follow a system. Like, why do you think Ford, McDonald's, who else? Apple has one. Why do you think these guys were so successful? It was because they had a system, they put it in place, it worked, they optimized the system, and it made them millions, if not billions. No, definitely billions for all those companies that I just talked about. So that's the thing. Follow a system, find a system, and I'm not saying you can't do it by yourself. You can definitely do it by yourself, but guys, I'm telling you, it is 1,000 times easier when you create a system and you implement it. You're following somebody else's footsteps, and that's not a bad thing. Like, too many people see that as a bad thing, I think. Join some freelance groups. Oh, yeah, that's also, Christian, that is a great point. One of my other favorite places to find... I knew Richard F. was a fake. There we go. Bye. We'll report you. And then remove you. Cool. Okay. I don't even know what he's talking about. Fake Instagram followers. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Gary, you're good, man. My bad. It was probably Richard that I was talking about. All right, guys. So before we get off, do we have any last-minute questions? Anybody in the Zoom call that has a question that didn't get to ask? Gary, go ahead and put your question in the chat, please, just because you're a new name to me, and I'm sorry. This isn't your fault. It's just what I'm having to do to make sure that we don't get people trying to do things that other people don't want to see, because that's really what I'm trying to avoid. People putting... Do I tend to source clients locally? Yes. Also, go Braves. Hell yes. So I already love that. Any Braves fan is good in my book. But yeah, we try to source locally as much as possible. But really, when it comes to ad campaigns or when it comes to running webinar campaigns to then remarket to later, it's better to open up your audience to a larger market because it's going to make your cost per click cheaper. So always think about this, guys. The more targeted you get with your audience on Facebook, basically meaning the less people you have in your audience, the more expensive cost per click typically is. Doesn't mean always, but typically the smaller your audience gets, the more the cost per click is. So, and that's the thing. People are worried about having to try and get clients because, they're like, okay, well, can I go get clients in other states or other countries? Easily. Well, Gary, if you can't word your question on here, then I can't. I'm sorry, I'm not going to today. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. It's all these people's fault who want to try and be little immature babies. But again, the more you broaden your audience in ads, the cheaper cost per click is. The more you narrow it down, the more expensive cost per click is. Oh, no, the point I was trying to make is if you want to work with someone in other states, it's easy. People are like, okay, well, what if I get a video shoot or I need to go do a photo shoot? What do I have to, how do I work that out? All you do is it's actually really simple, and you get it at a pretty good deal if you know how to do it. You call a photography agency or a videographer in that local area, and you work out a deal with them. Hey, I have a client who needs this much video shot for 2 days. What's your rate? Okay, cool. What will you do for me as a discount if I bring you this customer and you shoot the video? What kind of discount do I get on my end? Because I'm bringing you a customer. You have no work to do. You didn't have to do any marketing. You're getting a free customer brought to you. So what are you going to do for me to make it, worth both of our while? And that's all you do. You outsource, you find a person in that area, they go shoot, they upload it, boom, you're done. That's all you have to do. Working outside of your own state or outside of your own, immediate area is actually really, really easy. Not like most of the other gurus. So this is what I'm saying. You get people who try to come in and they're just upset. They're really sad. And then 100 more people. Never mind it. I'm not even, because I feel like that just is arrogant when I try to do that. Kashif, what's up, bro?
Okay, so I was trying to find the question, but I think I remember. So I was doing the interest group building yesterday, and in the video you said not to, if let's say I'm doing a shoe store and I'm making an interest group. If I make an interest group to websites, those same companies, I won't take them and make another interest group for, let's say, businesses. I'll use different companies, right? Is that what you were saying? Not to.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right. I'm going to draw this out.
Okay.
I had a buddy in here writing rap lyrics earlier. No joke, dude. That deep end freestyle. All right, let me open up a new one because that would be funny. All right, so basically what you're saying is, all right, what Kashif is saying, guys, is very simple. When you go and you're trying to do interest-based targeting, you never want your audiences to overlap. Jesus, y'all can't see me. You never want your audiences to overlap. Meaning, if I'm going to target, let's just say we're selling shoes online, like Kashif said. This is just the easiest way to do the example. If I'm selling shoes online, I'm trying to find people who have an interest in buying shoes, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to target companies like Nike, Reebok, Air Jordan. Those are different companies, right? So I'm going to create one ad or several ads using that one audience of people who like those shoe brand companies, right? And that's it. I'm going to build another audience because you always test multiple audiences, right? I'm going to build another audience over here that's going to go with a separate group of ads. And this audience, instead of targeting Nike, Reebok, and all the shoe companies I targeted in the first, we're going to target somebody different. So and on Facebook, this used to be how it is. I don't know if Nike.com would still be on there, but you'll have Nike the brand, and then you'll have Nike.com the website, right? So those are still the same brand. I wouldn't want to use Nike over here than Nike.com over here because I'm still going to get the same interest as far as people in these audiences. What I want to do over here is go find, like, what's a shoe magazine? I'm sure you guys know, like, a brand of a shoe magazine, right? I would start targeting magazines that sell shoes. And that's all I'm going to do is so if Nike had a magazine, though, I'm not going to put Nike magazine in there, right? Why? Because I have Nike in the first audience. Does that make sense? Cool. Did that answer your question, though? Cool. All right, so that is it for today, guys. I was going to draw it out. I didn't even need to draw it out. It's actually easier just to explain. All right, so that's it for today, guys. Again, I'm sorry that some people have no lives and want to ruin you guys' time on the live. I guess it kind of makes it a little fun, but at the same time, they can go fuck themselves. But that's just me. You guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope you guys stay safe due to the COVID BS that we're still freaking going through. Luckily, it looks like things are starting to slow down and we're going to be opening businesses back up. I know in Georgia, dude, we're rolling. Like, they just increased from 6 people per table to 10 people per table in restaurants. Like, it seems like not a big deal, but it's freaking great. Anyways, so I'm glad you guys... How many accounts does this dude have? I'm serious, dude. This guy has like 16 accounts. He's literally saying the same thing, but he's done it on like 15 accounts now. Whatever. You guys have a great rest of your week. I'm sorry for all of this nonsense, but I'm going to get out of here for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you did, just do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button for me really quick. It helps the performance of the video and helps other nice people like you guys see the video instead of jackasses who have no life or anything better to do. But that's it for me, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next Thursday at the same time. That is 7:30 p.m. EST every Thursday. But until next time, guys, Serial Entrepreneur out. Bye.